What's going on, all my frontliners? I'm Chris, he's Mike, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review. We're actually on time.
Yes, we are.
We actually didn't have that many books to read this week. It's a short week. It's fifth Wednesday of the month, of the final week of the month. We'll get into the date in a moment. But this week the books really felt very average. Nothing really too far. Honestly, I only had about 2 4-star books, and they were the 2 books I actually reviewed on Comic Frontline already. But other than that, everything else kind of just met the bar, maybe a little bit beyond, like I said, like the other 2 books. Nothing really super spectacular, amazing.
Well, we'll have to find out when Frontline Live goes live.
That's right. That's right. This video, we're recording it on Monday night. It should be live by early Tuesday morning. So, yeah, that's right. Frontline Live will be tonight.
Yes.
That's right. So it's going to be very interesting to see everybody's top 5 because, honestly, I'm going to be thinking about my top 5 all of tomorrow because there's really not much to touch when it comes to top 5. But we'll talk about that later. But anyway, let's go into
this review. The books that we will be reviewing were released on November 30th, 2016, the last week of November, and this is a milestone video of 370.
That's right.
30 more until we reach that 400 mark, which should be next year of July, August 2017.
August, September, I think.
August, September 2017. We'll get there when we get close to it.
Yep.
So without further ado, we're going to start digitally with your book.
All right, M.A.S.K, issue number 1 now. I kind of feel like this is going to spoil Revolution, which I do have Revolution issue 5, the conclusion. So I don't want to get too involved with M.A.S.K because I want to talk about Revolution. I only can talk mostly about what the focal point. If you have not read M.A.S.K or have no idea about M.A.S.K, well, the good news is the beginning of this book catches you up on everything that's gone on since the beginning of Revolution, which is where M.A.S.K re-debuted in the IDW comic universe. And what happens is, long story short, Miles Mayhem, who is now going by Mayhem, is the reason behind what happened during Revolution, or a part of it. He was a pretty strong part of it. And in the end of the story, which we'll get into Revolution, like I said, he ended up escaping. When there was a big ruckus, he was able to escape. So now this book opens up after Revolution. And what happens is now M.A.S.K is looking for Mayhem, because that's his name now, and they want to stop him before he's able to rebuild and basically take over again. And you get to see Mayhem's side. You get to see Miles kind of take over the role of Mayhem and form his own team, which they debut at the end of the issue. M.A.S.K is kind of on the run because there's all these things going on with other M.A.S.K vigilantes, and the law is wondering if M.A.S.K is involved in it. So anyway, long story short, in the end, Mayhem sets up a trap that M.A.S.K knows is a trap. Trevor 100% knows going in there that it's a trap, but they still go in, and Mayhem kind of calls that they're going to go in, and he traps them, and now they come face to face with the new team that Mayhem is leading, codenamed Venom. To be continued. Really great artwork, really great action, really good book. I gotta be honest, I probably won't pick this up physically single issue wise, but I will definitely go back and get trade paperbacks of this series. So I'll be reviewing it digitally, singly. But when the first trade paperback comes out, this is definitely going to be a trade paperback series. And this series, honestly, also, I think at some point I got to catch up on the trades. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number, what? 9. I think.
I love this cover, by the way.
I think they're still in the first story arc technically. So, anyway, the Power Rangers now back in the morphing grid thanks to Tommy, who is no longer able to morph because he gave his power to the other 4 Rangers. They are able to take over their Zords again. And this upsets, of course, the Dragon Knight. And what happens is Billy convinces Goldar, who apparently is able... See, this was the really weird, convenient part, but it kind of reminds me of the campy Power Rangers of the 90s, where kind of Billy... We find out that Goldar can control everything in the prison, even though he's a prisoner in there. And Billy kind of says, you hate this Dragonite guy. We want to, stop him. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So he kind of convinces Goldar to send him back, to get him out of the prison so he can go back to the Rangers. And he goes back to the Rangers. And what happens is, while he's talking with Goldar, they find out that Dragonite is not actually a person. It's a Zord. Because there's a hatch in the back. Gotcha. So Billy returns to Tommy. They both go inside of the Dragon Knight. And I think I'm saying his name wrong, but beside the point, they go in there, they're able to kind of screw around with it for a bit, and the Rangers are able to take the Dragon Knight down, then he starts to shrink. Billy and Tommy disappear, and the Rangers are kind of like, what just happened? And we find out at the end of the issue that obviously it was not the person. The person still exists in an alternate world where, and be ready for this spoiler here, Tommy actually was not saved by the Rangers, and him and Rita took over the world. And that last couple of pages where you see what would happen if Tommy stayed evil, let's just say the costume was an amalgamation of the White and Green Ranger.
Oh boy.
It was very weird, and it's going to be really interesting to see. Obviously, this is where the second story arc is going to be picking up now for sure. So I'm hoping that maybe the first trade will be coming out soon, and we'll grab that from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But I can't wait to see where this story goes.
All right, so now it's my turn with Ghostbusters International issue number 11. This is the, I guess, ending story arc, because it said never the end, and they didn't say when the next issue is going to be out.
Maybe
so
next month.
It could be next month. I don't know. This I will be reviewing for Comic Frontline and do a review of Ghostbusters International issue number 10 since I missed that. I don't know how still, but I will be doing a review sometime this week.
There's a magazine we have called Previews. If you pick it up and look in the IDW section, you can make sure that it's not ending.
I could see, but I haven't got a chance to look yet.
Okay.
Beside the point.
Just saying.
So for this issue,
you know what? Keep talking.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters are going to hell. Obviously, with Vinter, who is not really Vinter. It's actually the devil who got Vinter's skin, and that wants the book. And they said, if you give me the book, I'll bring back Egon, and I'll help you guys get out of hell. So, of course, they're not going to listen to him. So, of course, they try to fight against him, but the demons actually took host of him. So they're trying to find a way to get out of there. So this other person actually comes in and says that I will give you back your long-lost friend, and I could say that you can go out of hell, which he does. So, like, he doesn't actually help him. Like, he just says, like, you can leave. So they have to find a way of how to get out of there. So this one person that they meet, this woman, I forgot what her name was, but she is the one that actually brings Egon back, because that's what this focal point of the story is, getting Egon back. So she brings him back, and then Venkman doing the payback of giving her the book. She gets the book, but then Jenny, who has not Janine, I'm talking about the other person, Jenny, has the psychic power of destroying the book, saying it doesn't belong in her hands. And it's all hunky-dory stuff, but Egon is back on the team. So everything is turned out to be great. And it just said never the end, and I'll find out if there's going to be an issue 12 or not.
Here we go.
So, yeah.
Hold on.
All right, let me get to this next book. Grimm Tales of Terror. This is the 2016 Holiday Special. Now, I believe there were 4 stories.
I think I'm passing G and I don't see nothing.
I don't know. Now, I believe there were 4 stories, and 'tis the season to be jolly. So, it is the holidays. And, of course, you know, Grimm Tales of Terror is never going to be a non-gory book, because it is. The one story that I do want to say that was interesting, though, is that there's this guy who is in a mall dressed as Santa Claus. And there's this little boy who has a sister who said, remember Krampus who appeared in Robin Hood?
Krampus, yeah.
Yeah, Krampus. I thought it was Krampus for some reason, but Krampus. So he goes to Santa Claus, like, saying what he wants for Christmas and everything, and that, you know, I have a single mom and everything. So he actually finds out the boy's address to go to the house and not only give presents, but to be with his mother. So he said Krampus 3 times.
Nope, that's a trade paperback.
He said Krampus 3 times, and we see Krampus. And Krampus devoured the person dressed as Santa Claus. So
Ghostbusters Volume 2 is up to issue 11. So,
well, it said never the end.
So yeah, I guess that's the end of the volume.
But yeah, there are lots of other stories too that are holiday related, but expect blood and gore is all I have to say. There was, however, a new issue number 1. This is Red Agent: The Human Order. There's going to be a 12-issue series which I guess is going to be a run-on year for Red Agent. And what Red Agent and the Human Order is about is that, see, Red Agent, we know, turns into a werewolf. But she has a friend that is actually in a robot form. Because he used to be a human form, and they do explain a little bit of the story about how he became a robot form. So what they're trying to do is that they're trying to get some of his memories back. Things get a little bit out of whack for a while until... Oh, Avril actually is in this.
Oh, cool.
From... I keep forgetting that book. I can't remember, but with the witches and stuff. But anyway, she tags along with Red Agent to help with the robot. The robot goes like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs a little bit, saying, "Oh, I don't know you. You're my enemy," and da da da. And now what they're trying to do is that they're trying to save the robot, as well as trying to save everyone else that was involved in this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it looks like that Ghostbusters is done for now.
All right. Well, maybe it'll come out probably towards the spring because it said
they took a break before, remember?
Right. So yeah. But Red Agent, I would say give it a shot if you want to see it, and definitely pick up this issue to see for yourselves. One Valiant book, Generation Zero, issue number 4. It was a little bit okay. Like, I'm not saying it was boring. Like, it basically focuses on the boy, the main character of the group. Like, remember the group of the high school students? It focuses a little bit on his story and his character. And it also focuses on that girl that they had captured in the last issue with the rope and everything. Where she has some information to give to him. And he has a set of a child still. Because they're not adults, they're like children. In that sort of way. And they do explain a little bit more. I don't want to get too into it because it was getting a little like in depth of that. But yeah, there were like lots of stuff that happened. The girl's father actually appeared in this issue with the robot form and everything. So things are gonna get a little bit twisted as the issue continues. But it was iffy, okay. But up to you guys who want to read the book to see. Alright, now this one I did review for Comic Frontline, but I don't know if it's up yet. Sonic the Hedgehog, issue number 289. This is Genesis of a Hero, part 2. And to short this up, and I'm just going to show artwork, it's Sonic and Tails that are going up against Dr. Eggman and Dr. Snivy, who actually Dr. Snivy tries to get the upper hand on Sonic and try to bring him to Dr. Eggman. I love the artwork in this book. It really reminds you of the game. And I want to show you some because I think you might remember this actually. So as he's going to the Dr. Eggman's lair, grabbing onto the plane or whatever that thing was called, he fights off against the Super Butnick. But at the end, Sonic's gonna have a little bit on his hand because Chris, do you remember this? Mm-hmm. This was from the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 game. And I remember playing this on the Xbox 360 when they had that as a playable video game. So I am very aware of this Dr. Eggman form. But I gotta see how... I mean, we probably know if it's going to play out the same or differently from the game. But it said to be continued in the game. But it's going to continue on as the issue continues. And one more till we get to 290 and the 10 mark until we reach issue 300.
All right, now I've got 3 indie books, right? 3? 4. 4 indie books. We've got Revolution issue number 5. This is the grand finale of Revolution. Now, there was one other one-shot.
Is it a fold-out page?
Yes, it's an open page.
Yeah.
Now, there was another one-shot, which I did not get yet, which was Transformers Till All Are One. If I can ever find it, I absolutely will buy it. I know that we have to get a couple of Spider-Man books this month. I'll just throw it into that pile. When we get all 3 books, I'll order it. But this book is all action. It's the Transformers, it's G.I. Joe, it's M.A.S.K. Everybody, it's one big fight against I forgot what the guy's name was that was at the end of the last issue, but it's one big fight to stop him from taking over Earth, taking Earth down just so that he could fix the microverse. I mean, there's some real bad battle damage going on. And we also find out that Miles is behind a lot of what's going on. And he ends up disappearing, like I said, because they make one final push with, what's his name, with the Transformers. Everyone kind of makes that final push to keep the microverse and whatever this guy's name was, from staying on Earth and, you know, kind of saving. I don't want to spoil too much. I want you guys to read it. So let's just say they saved the day. A few people did, are sacrificed for that. The Micronauts end up in a precarious situation at the end. Miles has disappeared going into M.A.S.K. And G.I. Joe, and there's little teasers for Revolutionaries, which actually starts up, I believe it actually starts this month, if I'm not mistaken. So Revolutionaries I will be getting physically as well. Revolution was a really fun
So is
book.
Revolutionaries going to be connected to all the people who are in there? Transformers, G.I. Joe?
Certain characters from each of the from each of the teams. So
okay.
I'll be getting Revolutionaries. I'll be checking it out. M.A.S.K, like I said, I'm reading digitally. G.I. Joe, after seeing the wonderful artwork in that one shot, I don't think so. But anyway, Lady Death, this is Zodiac issue number 1. Now, I thought when I ordered this book, I was ordering an actual story, and I'm like, gee, it's still glossy. I was like, gee, it's early, because, I mentioned before it was only one every season. I had time to catch up. I have about 4 others. Well, good news, everybody. This book is not really a story. It's more of basically Lady Death playing out all of the astrological signs. So, if you want to see really nice artwork, because I will say the artist that does the Lady Death pictures for each page is really good and would like to read about your astrological sign, I would say definitely give this book a check out. It is only...
So wait, they have a Capricorn?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ambition drives Capricorn. Well, that's my sign. I'm just saying.
So if you'd like to get a Lady Death book talking about all the astrological signs and your specific astrological sign, go for it. The next one, which I believe is... Oh, it doesn't say when. Shipping January 2017. The next one is... It just says Lady Death right now.
You should go look at the preview.
It's in the other preview book, but we ordered it, so we're good.
Oh, you did order.
The next, the next Lady Death will be coming in January. But if you like something to hold you over, Lady Death Zodiac. It was a fun, nice little read. Honestly, I didn't read every single page. I read my astrological sign. I was a little disappointed. I thought it would have a story to it, but again, $3.99. TMNT issue number 4. The first story. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. TMNT Universe issue number 4. The grand finale to the first story arc. We find out that... first of all, the Turtles are working with Stockman, and Stockman actually fights with himself because he wants to take the Turtles back as his lab rats, but instead he kind of works with them because the game has changed thanks to Bishop and the rest of his army who believe there's a war going on between mutants and humans. And there's some really awesome action in this book. I will say that. There's some really awesome action. However, the person April goes to is a person I don't like, but unfortunately that's the person that gets them out of the mess, and that's Null. And she shows up and Bishop kind of retreats. I hate Null. I hope she's a character the Turtles take down at some point, but Null shows up, and the deal between the Turtles and Null was she gets to keep the all the stuff that she sent her agent in to steal from Baxter Stockman, and she basically just gets rid of Bishop so the Turtles can escape. Mikey tries to talk some sense into Zodi, but she's kind of like, dude, I'm beyond saving. You can't help me. She goes back to Null, and see, you got Null with that smirk on her face that really just... I'm trying to get the camera to focus on... I don't think it will. And it bugs me. Because you could tell that Null kind of has her brainwashed. But in the end, Baxter Stockman says it's obvious the playing fields have changed. And he wants April to come back to working, to work for him. And the Turtles kind of get that long, relaxed, that long needed rest. And then you get that second story, which is basically Leonardo on LSD fighting a bunch of people. And I don't even know. Honestly, I really don't even know where. The second story just is not holding me at all to the point where I just literally skimmed it. But the first story arc's done. We'll see where the next story arc goes with TMNT Universe. It was nice. We get Bishop, starting his war. And obviously this will play into things, I'm sure, in the TMNT main book as time moves on. Anyway, Saga, issue number 40. Well, it looks like King Robot is finally realizing he's not such a great dad. Because he has tons of nightmares about all the bad things he's done. And you got Marco, who you could see he kind of doesn't want... he's kind of nervous going back to fighting. You know, he doesn't want to hold his sword. He doesn't want to take up again because he killed a person once, and it's kind of like he doesn't want to become a violent person. He believes. We all know how Marco is by now. Yeah. So we also find out the plan that's going to happen with, oh god, what's it called? The asteroid. Fang. We also find out, you know, and it turns out Gwendolyn's kind of a part of the big old plan that's going on with Fang, and the little girl whose family's from Fang actually hears what's going on. Isabel's still different. We get a little teaser, which I'm not going to show, about where Fang is headed, and then King Robot kind of confronts, what's her name? Shoot. Alana. And it's a very messed up, weird ending because we all know he's been having those lust dreams for her. I will confirm that he's not lusting for her. It's her personality that he wishes he could be. He does say she's like a very good mother, and he kind of wants to learn from her, but he's kind of a little drugged out. So let's just say in this case, he's drugged out. Let's just leave it at that. I'm looking forward to the next issue now. Guardian, we're going into the big two. Only book I have is Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 14. And this takes place at a different time. As we all know, Civil War is going on right now. Lots of crazy stuff. Obviously, Guardians is taking a break for 1 month, I guess, while they conclude Civil War. And then we all know where everybody's going. Star-Lord's going to have his own book. Gamora's going to be off in space. Drax, I think, is stuck on Earth. Rocket's going to be stuck on Earth for a time. So it's I guess eventually we're going to go into how they get back to being the Guardians. But in this issue, Spider-Man gets kidnapped by the Skrulls, and it's up to the Guardians to save Spider-Man. And there's a Skrull that actually takes over as Spider-Man, and that pisses Venom off, Flash. Really awesome fight scene, and Flash really does a really good number on, I forgot what the Skrull's name was, but in the end, they're able to save Spider-Man. Spider-Man has no clue about what went on. So it's kind of like one of those tales that happened right before Civil War happened. It was nice. The artwork was good. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens next with Guardians.
All right. And my only book I have is Thunderbolts issue number 7, or issue number 1 now, with the whole now thing.
No, it's issue 7.
Happening.
It's issue 1 with Marvel now.
I know,
again.
but the whole Marvel now thing is just...
Now again.
I don't understand. But anyway, just to make this long story short, the team is looking for the Winter Soldier. And what Maria Hill, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., wants from Winter Soldier is that girl, Kabiko.
Okay.
That little girl, like, you know who she is, right? That they want her because she's a source of energy and has, like, the cube and stuff like that. So they're trying to figure out a way of how to save him, but we have Captain America, who actually comes in this issue, and then he found out that he's actually held as prisoner, and he gets Maria Hill, like, saying, like, you were gonna wait until when to tell me all this, because he found out he was trapped in there. Or actually kidnapped in there. So they have a little bit of a talk about like what he did trying to murder Spider-Man, and he's like saying, you know, you were wrong of doing that. I knew you better than that. And, you know, basically he was just trying to see what was going on. So basically the whole sum of the book is like them trying to save Winter Soldier, even though the woman wasn't that into it because of the whole working together, because they're not really all together. Try to do that, and now we're going to find out in the next issue if they're going to be able to save him or if something else is going to happen. So in all, this was like a average okay book to read, and definitely something to check out. Okay, and yeah, these all yours, unless that one we share?
We could share that one. Did you read any of it?
I did read a little bit. I got to talk about this one.
Suicide Squad issue number 7. Harley is the last sane person in Arkham Asylum, and Amanda Waller is fighting to keep her sanity. And actually, Amanda Waller kind of enlists Harley to get to Zod before he completely wakes up, and to turn off the yellow sunlight to prevent him from getting all of his powers back. The only thing this book does, and it's kind of sad, is Harley actually admits out loud that because she's sane now, she's actually better at fighting and making a strategy because her head isn't clouded. So basically, this book confirms that Harley Quinn could be a lot better if she was sane, and because she's insane, she's not as good as she can be, like not reaching her full potential, which is kind of sad. Turns out Killer Croc and the Enchantress, I'm not going to say anything about what's going on with Killer Croc and the Enchantress. Hack basically cleanses her system of the insanity. We find out at the end that, well, Harley ends up in a precarious situation with Killer Croc, and we find out that the thing that's hacking and screwing around with everybody's head might actually be Captain Boomerang. That's going to be interesting, and hopefully we can get past the story arc, get to Justice League versus Suicide Squad, and move on from there. Backstory is the Enchantress this time. So if you like a nice, cool backstory involving the Enchantress, then this is the book for you. They've basically, I think now, or by next issue, they will have covered, I think, everybody in Suicide Squad. I don't think there's really anybody left. Unless they're going to do Amanda Waller.
They might.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody left that they haven't done. They did Killer Croc, too. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see next issue to find out. Now, this is a book that Mike and I guess, will composite talk about. And this is New Talent Showcase. Now, this has an $8... I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about the price.
I'm going to talk about the price. This has an $8 price tag. So for $8, this book needs to deliver. Mm-hmm. And I'm worried about this coming month, December, with the holiday special, and I think there's a few other books that are a little bit more than $2.99. Now, this book, I'll talk about the stories real quick. You've got Hellblazer, which is a Constantine story, which I'm guessing you read. There's Wonder Woman, Blood and Glory, White Lantern, Dead Beacons, Hawkgirl, Dead Weapon of War, Dead Man, Killing Time, Wonder Girl, Digging Up Demons, Catwoman, Wonder Woman, The Amazonian Job, Superman, The Man in Black, and it concludes with Harley Quinn, Good Morning Gotham. First story arc is Constantine. I skipped it. Did you read it?
Well,
good
Constantine,
artwork.
Well, actually, with Constantine Zatanna, I really didn't like the artwork. Kinda.
I thought the artwork was okay.
I wasn't really that fond of the artwork, like, while I was looking through the book.
Alright, well, what's the story?
Well, basically, it's just Constantine and Zatanna just talking with each other and just reuniting, and you know how some of the times they don't get along, but then, you know, it was like a little bit of a short story. Like, really, that's the whole thing of the reunitation between those two.
It's kind of funny you say that, because I did not like the artwork for Wonder Woman.
Oh, so...
I wasn't a fan of it. It's Wonder Woman fighting this beast with Flash. Honestly, this was one of the books I skimmed because it's a New Talent Showcase, so I figured they were just showing off the talent for the writing and the stories. Just in case I didn't show artwork for Constantine, I'll show you guys some artwork for Constantine. And honestly, Wonder Woman wasn't the story I was really looking to read in this book. But next story was Hawkgirl, I believe. Hawkgirl was after Wonder Woman? Or was it Dead Man? No, I'm sorry, White Lantern. It was next. And the White Lantern story is cool. I did enjoy this, and I did like the artwork in this book. And apparently, Kyle and Carol are celebrating their 1-year anniversary, which any fan of Hal Jordan, which we know a few who were very, upset when Carol started dating Kyle. Yeah, this definitely will upset you. And Kyle thinks that Carol, spoiler alert here, is pregnant. I mean, she didn't admit it, but it's going to be interesting. The Hawkgirl story, I skipped down on. Did you read the Hawkgirl story? I really wasn't.
I did skim it. I just couldn't really get into the artwork.
Oh, no, I just couldn't get into the story, honestly.
Like, I tried to read the story, too. Like, I just couldn't really. I did read the Dead Man one.
All right, so what's up with Dead Man?
So the Dead Man story is... What I know is about Dead Man, he keeps talking about his story, about himself, but also about how he tries to use his powers, with the people, and how he tries to, go from one person to another. So that's really just the basis of that story for that.
The Wonder Girl story, I really like the artwork a lot, and it's more of a backstory on how she got her curse / her abilities. and she wanted to know who was the reason behind it, and we kind of get a little bit of that information towards the end of the issue. And let's just say that the people who are being blamed for what's going on are Wonder Girl and her mom. So very interesting. I like the Catwoman Wonder Woman story. I don't know if you read it, but
No,
the
I didn't read that
artwork,
one.
but the artwork was really nice as well
Yeah,
for that.
I don't know. I really just couldn't get interested in this book. Even with Harley Quinn was just. Oh, you didn't get there yet. I thought you were there.
No. Then you're talking about Harley Quinn? That's the last
Yeah,
one.
I mean.
All right, yeah, Superman.
Yeah, yours is that.
Yeah, Superman, which I did like the artwork in here. I don't know as an ongoing, as a title artist if it'd be good, but I did like the artwork here. Apparently, Joker invades where Superman is and kind of screws with Lois. Superman's able to save Lois, but apparently she was visited by a Joker, but a different Joker. And as you guys know, when Rebirth happened, there were several Jokers, and this one's one of the several Jokers. And he did it and he apologized for doing it, but he did it because of, a higher calling, like there was an alien or whatnot. And I think we saw that at the beginning of the issue. We saw an alien at the beginning of the issue. And Batman contacts Superman and says that Joker the Joker that was in this book is now in Smallville. And it says the end ? So obviously either this will take place in a Batman book, in the Trinity book, or maybe even in a Superman book. So I'm guessing at some point we're going to be seeing Superman coming face to face with the Joker. Last story arc I skipped down on because it was Harley and not
Quinn,
my thing.
I just don't know words of what to say about Harley Quinn. It's just
I'm trying to get a good page.
a rampage of, what she does, and all in all, like, after looking through this book, it falls on my least favorite. At least.
Yeah, now, out of all the annuals, and it has a spine, which I will say we haven't seen too much of that in these books lately, but...
Dead Man had a spine.
Oh, that's right. Dead Man had a spine, too. You're right.
And it's coming out,
I
think, next
have
week.
to say, save...
Week.
Yeah, I have to say, unless you need to have one of these stories in your collection... Now, I'm keeping this book, obviously, for the Superman story with Joker, in case it plays out into something in a future story arc. But honestly, unless you got this as a deal also, I mean, if you ordered it from DCBS, you did that 2 months in advance pre-order where you get 35% off, you don't need this book. If you go into the comic shop, read through it. It gives you guys some new artists that'll be coming on board probably, and some new writers also. It's not something you need unless you want it for a story that's in the book specifically and you can't live without it. I expected a little bit more, but it wasn't that bad either. So kind of falls in between, but definitely on the lower tier, especially for that $7.99 price tag. The next two books are $5, and the next two books I reviewed. Here's Batman Annual, #1. And I enjoyed it. It has 5 stories in it, all Christmas related. If you want a full-fledged review on it, you can check it out. I did do a solo review on all the book, on both this and the next book. First story arc has Alfred and Ace the Wonder Dog. That's all I'm going to say there. Second story arc is called Silent Night because it's exactly what I said. It is a silent night in Gotham. I want to show you guys the artwork from each of the stories because each art changes. Their next story was Harley Quinn. I forgot what the name of it was though. Not So Silent Night of the Harley Quinn. And Neil Adams actually I keep saying guess. Neil Adams actually did the artwork for this book, for this story. Oh God, I'm losing it at the end of this review. And then next story arc actually introduces a character we will be seeing in the future. I will not spoil that. If you'd like a spoiler on that, go check out the full-fledged review. But it teases a character we'll be seeing in 2017. And then the last story arc, which was my least favorite, I can't tell you guys the title of the other one because it gives away the person, but the Insecurity Diversion, it's just the Haunter and Scarecrow. They try to screw with Batman, and Batman actually one-ups them in the end. Haunter escapes just to get thrown back into Arkham. The end. Out of the 2 annuals, because there is still Superman Annual, this was a nice 5 stories in one, kind of round or on or around Christmas time, so it was really nice. It was really an enjoyable read. Superman Annual #1, however, is one story, and again, I've reviewed this for Comic Frontline, so if you want the full story on Superman versus Swamp Thing, check out my review. But that's exactly what this book is: Superman versus Swamp Thing, because Swamp Thing believes Superman does not belong on that Earth. I love this page. I want to show it again. I showed it on my review digitally. I'm going to show it physically now. And what happens is 2 fights break out. One is Superman, and he accidentally kind of infects Swamp Thing, and then Swamp Thing finds out that, or tries to tell Superman he's out of tune with that world, that he's still kind of stuck on his world, and the way he takes in solar energy is different from the way the New 52 Superman took in energy. And as a matter of fact, since the New 52 Superman's death, he was taking even more solar energy. So Swamp Thing, through means, if you want to know how, watch my review, is able to cleanse or more in tune Superman to the planet. And he kind of tells Superman, I will spoil this, he's like, you gotta let go of the past. Don't forget the past. The past is what makes us who we are. But live in tomorrow. Be the man of tomorrow, which I hope at some point they bring that back, that title back. We'll see. But yeah, so in the end, you had 2 really awesome fights, great action, awesome artwork, and it ends with Superman being, again, if you're not really heavily into Superman, this story arc or this annual won't mean anything to you. But for Superman fans who are very, dead set on knowing everything about the pre-New 52 Superman, or Superman fans in general, we will be very happy and you will enjoy this book immensely. I did, and it's nice to know that now Superman's more in tune with the DC universe thanks to Swamp Thing, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Did you have to read this book? No, but it does kind of answer a question that was left in a previous story arc. I believe it was either in Action or Superman. Those are the only 2 Superman books. But it answers the question about what happened when Superman put his hand on the Earth and it glowed. So if you're curious to know where that end game ended up, that's the annual to read. And with that, that's it for this review. Yep. We are done at only 37 minutes. Wow. That's a half hour earlier than we normally finish.
Yeah, well, sometimes it happens.
Exactly. So guys, as always, feel free to comment below your thoughts on any of the books we reviewed here, recommendations, agree, disagree, what have you. Also, there's a subscribe button under this video. If you have not yet subscribed to Comic Frontline, hopefully you will smash that subscribe button. We post videos each and every day. Very rare that we don't, but there's at least 1 video a day coming out of Comic Frontline. If you hit that subscribe button, you will not miss out on a single one of those videos. Speaking of that, we are Comic Frontline, your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. If you'd like to see even more Comic Frontline goodness, go over to comicfrontline.com. Till next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting. Don't forget, tonight, Frontline Live.
Yes.
It's going to be a very interesting top 5, I'll tell you that much.
It will be.
But anyway, take care, everybody. We'll see you guys really soon in the next video.
Bye, everybody.